amazing!
Hi everyone, and welcome to another video of How Nuts Survived AP Physics 1, the final project. My name is Natasya Indah Wijaya, or you can call me Natasya. I major in Math and Science, and I'm from 12E. This year, I'm one of the cool AP Physics students of 2023 and 2024. Now, in this video, I will be acting as the researcher, and you will be the community. Now let's begin discussing about design thinking. What is design thinking? Design thinking is a problem-solving process that prioritizes understanding the user's needs, generating creative ideas, and testing out solutions to create effective and innovative outcomes. Now, not only that, we as AP Physics students also use scientific methods, which is a way to do an investigation involving hypothesis formulation, experimentation, data analysis, and conclusion drawing based on the evidence that we have. I'll now begin explaining about our final project. But before that, have you ever been in this position or witnessed someone in this situation? Picture yourself driving on your way home, but then, all of a sudden, your brakes decide to be done with life and didn't seem to be working. And then, boom, a car crash happened because you crashed into an innocent cat who's just minding their own business. So, what do you need? A car crash barrier. Why is that? Because car crashes often cause severe damages and injuries, posing as a risk for the public safety. And that is why we, the amazing AP Physics students, tested out multiple kinds of car crash barrier designs for your safety when driving. So, again, in this project, I am acting as a science researcher that is working in the HighScope consulting firm, and the firm wants me and my team to develop a sustainable technology for future vehicles. So, my team and I are challenged to come up with a plan to develop a mock up model for a sustainable car crash barrier breaker. Now, with a team of two, the goal is to build a model of a car crash barrier that will lower the impact force felt by the car when crashing to another car. And so, my team decided to use these three materials that we tested out, first being styrofoam, second sponge, and third is foam tape. Now, going back to design thinking, and how we apply this to our project, first we need to empathize, starting by understanding the problem, which in this case is to improve the effectiveness of the car crash barriers to enhance their safeties, considering factors such as the type of car crashes, the type of speeds and barriers and materials. Second is define. This means to clearly define the problem statement, such as how can we design car crash barriers to minimize injuries during high speed collisions? Because this step helps us to concentrate and focus on the experiment and clarify the objectives that we want to achieve. Third is ideate, because we need to brainstorm various kinds of ideas and designs for us to improve car crash barrier designs. And this includes considering different kinds of materials, different kinds of shapes, and placement strategies to mitigate impact forces and protect occupants. Fourth is prototype, because after creating several types of potential designs that we can use, before we test them out, we also develop the prototypes based on the idea that we have in mind. Then comes number five, which is test or experiment. This is where we conduct these experiments to evaluate the performance of each prototype that we have by the use of controlled conditions to simulate different kinds of car crash scenarios and measure variables such as impact force, barrier deformation, and occupant safety. Now, scientific method. The first step is to make an observation, which begins by observing the real-world car crashes that often happens and the performance of existing car crash barriers, noting that there are patterns or areas that needs improvements. Second is to formulate a specific question or a hypothesis based on our observations, such as does the barrier made out of styrofoam and sponge reduce the impact force in a car crash more effectively than a styrofoam and foam tape? Third is to formulate hypotheses to in the context of car crash barrier experiments involves making an educated guess or prediction about the relationship between variables. For example, a hypothesis can be Increasing the thickness of the car crash barrier will result in a reduction of impact force experimented by the vehicle occupants during the collision. And this hypothesis can be tested out during our experiment and data analysis to determine its validate. Fourth is to make predictions about the expected outcomes that could happen of the experiment based on our hypothesis. For example, if styrofoam and sponge is stronger than styrofoam and foam tape, then we might need to predict that the barriers made out of styrofoam and sponge will deform a less of a impact during the crash. Fifth is experiment. This is done by designing and conducting experiments to test out our hypothesis by testing out the designs that we have. This would include constructing car crash barriers using different materials that we have, then setting up controlled car crash tests, and also measuring variables such as impact force and barrier deformation. Sixth is analysis, which is to analyze the data collected during the experiments to determine whether it supports or refutes our hypothesis. Now, this is done by using statistical methods to evaluate the significance of the results and draw conclusions based on the evidence. Now, I will now share about the results that we have based on the experiment that we've done from these three designs. First is the car without any designs, which had negative 0.31 meters per second in impact velocity. Second is styrofoam and foam tape, which has negative 0.129 meters per second. Third is the second design, which is styrofoam and sponge, which has negative 0.19 meters per second. And last but not least, our third design, being sponge and foam, has negative 0.38 meters per second of impact velocity. And from this, the out of three designs we've tested, the design with its last impact is design 1, which is styrofoam and foam tape. This is because the impact velocity has the last displacement, meaning that it's the most least effective out of the three. Now, what is this semester's big question? The big question is, why might visionary leadership cause and or effect transformation? And our answer is that a leader with clear vision and goal is considered visionary when they work hard and put in the effort to achieve the goal that they want, and as well as inspiring and guiding others to do the same. Now, our focus question is how my action as a visionary leader, when applying design thinking and engineering design process, can contribute to transform a safe and sustainable future vehicle. Now, our answer is as a visionary leader who applies design thinking and engineering design processes, we can innovate something new, optimize efficiency, and ensure that sustainability in the development of future vehicles, thus contributing to a safer and more environmentally friendly transportation landscape. That is all. Thank you for watching.